3. The chapter on confession. Then, indeed, the Bodhisattva Ruchiraketu slept. In the middle of his sleep he saw a golden drum, made of gold, shining everywhere, just like the orb of the sun. And in all the directions he saw innumerable, incalculable Buddhas, sitting on barrel seats at the foot of jeweled trees, surrounded and honored in an assembly of numerous hundreds of thousands, preaching the law. And there he saw a man with the form of a Brahmin, beating that drum. There, from the sound of the drum, he heard these and similar confessional verses come forth. Then, indeed, the Bodhisattva Ruchiraketu, as soon as he awoke, recollected these verses of confession of the law. Having recollected them, at the end of that night he departed from the great city of Rajagriha, with numerous thousands of beings. He came to Mount Ridrakuta, where the Lord was, and having approached and worshipped the feet of the Lord with his head, he thrice walked around the Lord toward the right and sat down on one side. Sitting on one side, the Bodhisattva Ruchiraketu made the respectful gesture with his hands toward the Lord and uttered those confessional verses that he had heard in the middle of his sleep from the sound of the drum. One night, when I was not tired, I fell asleep and saw a gleaming drum with a golden light everywhere. Shining like the sun, it beamed everywhere. It glowed in the 10 directions. I saw Buddhas everywhere. They were sitting on jeweled trees and on barrel seats at the head of an assembly of numerous hundreds of thousands. I saw one in the form of a Brahmin beating a drum, and while it was being struck by him, these verses came forth. By the excellent drum of golden light, let the woes in the 1,000,000 world be suppressed. The woes in the evil states, the woes in the world of Yama, and the woes of poverty here in the threefold world. And by this resounding of the sound of the drum, may all troubles in the world be suppressed. May beings be without fear, free of fear, just as great sages are without fear, fearless. Just as the great sages who know all in the cycle of existence are endowed with all the noble virtues, so may men and women be oceans of virtues endowed with the virtues of meditation and the 7 members of enlightenment. And by this resounding of the sound of the drum, may all beings possess the voice of Brahma. May they touch the best enlightenment of Buddhahood. May they turn the pure wheel of the law. May they remain living for inconceivable eons. May they preach the law for the welfare of the world. May they destroy impurities, annihilate woes, suppress passion, likewise hatred and folly. May those beings who dwell in an evil state, their limbs alight with blazing fire, hear the sound of the drum. May they take up the refrain, "Homage be to the Buddha." May all beings be mindful of their former births during hundreds of births, thousands of millions of births. Continually mindful of the great sages, let them hear their word, for it is noble. And by this resounding of the noise of the drum, may they always obtain a meeting with the Buddhas. May they avoid evil action. May they practice meritorious acts of good. For these men and women assure us, all beings who have desires and wishes, may I fulfill them all by this resounding of the noise of the drum. For those beings who have taken birth in a fierce hell, their limbs alight with blazing fire, and without deliverance and oppressed with grief wander about, there will be quenching of their fires. Those beings whose woes are fierce and terrible in hells, among ghosts, or in the world of men, by this resounding of the noise of the drum, may all their woes be suppressed. And may I be, for those who are without deliverance, without rescue, without refuge, the deliverer, the refuge, the excellent protector. May the Buddhas, whose minds are full of mercy and compassion, watch over me. Those best of the two-footed who dwell in the world in its 10 directions. And whatever evil, cruel act was done by me previously, I will confess it all before the Buddhas. Whatever evil I have done by not attending to my parents, by neglecting the Buddhas, by neglecting the good, whatever evil I have done by being drunk with the intoxication of authority, or with the intoxication of high birth, or by being drunk with the intoxication of tender age, whatever evil I have done, bad thought, bad word, by an act badly done, or by not perceiving a mishap, whatever evil I have done by the application of foolish reasoning, by a mind dark with ignorance, under the influence of an evil friend, or by a mind distracted with impurities, under the compulsion of sport or enjoyment, or through the influence of anxiety or anger, or through the fault of unsatisfied wealth, whatever evil I have done by my associations with ignoble people, by reason of envy and greed, or by the fault of guile or wretchedness, whatever evil I have done through failure to gain the mastery over my desires by reason of fear at the time of approaching troubles, whatever evil I have done through the influence of a flighty mind, or through the influence of passion and anger, or through being oppressed by hunger and thirst, whatever evil I have done for the sake of drink and food, for the sake of clothing, for a reason involving women, through the various afflictions of impurities, whatever evil of body, tongue, and mind, bad action accumulated in threefold manner, I have done, together with similar things, I confess it all. Whatever disrespect I may have shown to Buddhas, doctrines, likewise to Shravakas, I confess it all. Whatever disrespect I may have shown toward Pratyeka Buddhas or toward Bodhisattvas, I confess it all. If I have shown disrespect toward those who preach the good law, or toward other meritorious beings, I confess it all. If I have unawares continually rejected the good law, or shown disrespect toward my parents, I confess it all. Whatever evil I have done, through stupidity, or from folly, or through being full of pride and arrogance, through passion, hatred, or delusion, I confess it all. I will worship the Buddhas in the 10 directions in all the world. I will deliver the beings in the 10 directions from all woe. I will establish in the 10th stage all the inconceivably many beings. And when I have placed them in the 10th stage, may they become Tathagatas. May I follow my career for millions of eons, for the sake of every single being, until I am able to deliver every one from the ocean of woe. May I expound to those beings this profound confession. The excellent Suvarnabhasa by name causes the destruction of all acts. By proclaiming at once all the cruel evil one has done in thousands of eons proceeds to destruction. I will expound this confession, the splendid, excellent Suvarnabhasa, by which is quickly obtained the destruction of acts and hindrances. I will place in the 10th stage choice minds of the 10 jewels. I will make shine the Buddha qualities. I will cross over from the ocean of existence, and I will fill the flood of the Buddha sea, the deep ocean of virtues, omniscience, with inconceivable Buddha qualities. May I become an excellent Buddha with hundreds of thousands of meditations, with inconceivable magic formulas, with the senses and with the 10 powers and the 7 members of enlightenment. May the Buddhas watch over me with minds attentive. May they forgive my sin with minds given over to compassion. On account of the evil done by me previously, even in hundreds of eons, I have a troubled mind, oppressed with wretchedness, trouble, and fear. With an unhappy mind, I continually fear evil acts. With an unhappy mind, wherever I go, there is no enjoyment for me anywhere. All the Buddhas are compassionate. they remove the fear of all beings. May they forgive my sin, and may they deliver me from fear. May the Tathagata take away from me the defilement of impurities and acts, and may the Buddhas bathe me with the surging waters of compassion. I confess all the evil previously done by me, and I confess all my present evil. For the future I undertake to refrain from all acts evilly done. I do not conceal whatever evil I may have done. The threefold bodily act and the fourfold with the voice, as well as the act in 3 ways with the mind, all this I confess. What I have done with my body, what I have done with my voice, and what I have thought with my mind, the 10-fold act I have done, I confess it all. May I avoid the 10 evil acts. May I practice the 10 good acts. I will remain in the 10th stage. I will become an excellent Buddha. Whatever evil act I have done, bringing an undesired fruit, I will confess it all in the presence of the Buddhas.